Alright, let's try this again. Hi friends! I'm having some technical difficulties with my computer today. Oh my heavens. Alright, I look like I'm back on my laptop. So, sorry, we're just adjusting a little bit. Seeing if we can get this to stay. So, I got a new camera stand, and I mostly like it. Mostly. So, and that light is weird. Now it's dark. Okay. We'll get us figured out. Now we got some light coming in from both directions. Cool. Alright. Welcome to my simple stamping class for September. I am super excited. I love this class every month. And for those of you who don't know and aren't familiar with all of the crazy catalogs that we've got, because we've got a bunch, I'll just share super quickly. So we have our annual catalog, and this one runs, oh, they just changed the dates, May through April. Is that right? One of my demo friends corrects me if I have that wrong. I'm pretty sure they changed the dates so that it runs May through April. It was June through May. So we have this one. This is our big fat catalog. It has so much awesomeness in it. So there's that one. And then a couple times a year we have mini catalogs come out. So right now we are working in our holiday mini catalog. It's got everything that you need for holidays for the last half of the year. You know, fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And it even had some sets in here that have like some Valentine stuff in there. So that's pretty cool. So you can get a jump start on Valentine's Day. So everything in these catalogs is geared towards people who have been buying product for a really long time. I'm not saying if you're new to stamping, don't buy it, because there's some awesome stuff in there. There's great stamp sets, there's the coloring tools, there's the paper, there's the dies, there's the punches, but that can get really overwhelming if you are just starting out. So Stampin' Up did something super awesome sauce, and they created the beginner brochure. And this isn't like a knock on, hey, you're new to this. It's just one of those, hey, we know that this can be overwhelming, so we are going to simplify this for you. And it's a pamphlet, and it is so much tinier. It's only, well, let me look, 15 pages. So it simplifies it. And a lot of these are kits and project suites. So it's like, buy these, 5 items, and then you'll be able to make these amazing projects. And they're simple, and they're geared towards people who are just starting to get into the habit. I mean hobby. I laugh. I always tell everybody it's a habit. So every month I am picking something from this catalog, and I am doing a class with it. So this month we are playing with the SimplyCitrus all-inclusive kit, and this kit is fabulous. My friend Trisha is on, and I took a class with her a couple months ago, and so I've already made a couple of the kits or cards from the kit so that you can see some examples. But first, let me show you what comes in it. First, you get this box. It's lovely. It's nice and big, and you take off the lid, and poof, all of this magic amazingness. So you get instructions, and the instructions are all in color, and it helps show you what you need to do to put the kit together. And it comes in multiple languages. You've got English, French, Japanese, and German. So if you need to brush up on your German, here's a great opportunity to practice and do crafting at the same time. Or French or Japanese, you choose. I'm going to stick with English, so I'm going to set that aside. Alright, you also get your stamps, and it's just a tiny stamp set. I mean, there's 8 different stamps that you can use. It also comes with glue dots and dimensionals. See, I told you I already started working with those. So you don't even have to have your own adhesive unless you don't like the glue dots. And then I would recommend the Stampin' Seal, which is fabulous stuff. The more I use it, the more I love it. Okay, and this kit comes with a block. It's about the same size as a D block. It just doesn't have the grooves on the side. Actually, it is the same size as a D block, but it just doesn't have those grooves on the side. It's nice and flat like the paper pumpkin blocks. And if you don't know what a paper pumpkin block is, talk to me later about paper pumpkin. So like the paper pumpkin ones are just a little bit thinner. I just happen to have a stack of those off to the side. I have a stamp camp tomorrow, so I am trying to get all of my stuff ready to go for that. Also in the kit you have an ink spot. This one is Night of Navy. So ink spots are just mini ink pads. So like here's the full size ink pad and the ink spot. And it's just cute. It's a little mini one. It's like a sixth of the size of a big one. So I'm going to use the big one tonight during the class. You also get a roll of this gorgeous twine and a whole bunch of these itty bitty little flowers. And those are just in a bag to keep them all contained. And then I already punched everything out, but there's sheets of different punch outs. There's like banners and background pieces and label tags, and I'm shooting them at myself through the box. Does that count as dropping stuff? Because I drop stuff in every Facebook Live I do. So there's just like all sorts of options, and we will use these on all of the different cards. So we'll set those off to the side too. And then you get your gorgeous card bases. So you get enough bases to do each card 3 times, and there are 5 or 6 different cards. I can't remember. We will count. So you've got all of our different card bases. It looks like we've got 5 different designs. Yes, 5. So we have all of those. You set those to the side. And then it comes with enough envelopes to go with all of your cards. And these have like fun prints on the insides of them. So no complaints on the cuteness of the card. So like, can you imagine getting this card in the mail? It's like, oh look, it's a card. And then you go and you open it up and you're like, whoa, check out the color. It would make me happy. I need more cards. Send me cards. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to. Unless you want to. And then, you know, I won't complain. So, let me show you the cards that we're going to make today. And they are super amazing. Alright, let me move the box. Okay, so this is the first card. It says, just a note. I'm trying to make sure that I am in the camera. I am still getting used to my new setup. Alright, so we've got a cute just a note. It's got some of those cute little flowers on there and some of the twine with a double bow. Check that out. And then we've got a thank you card that is all nice and exciting. Ooh, I should make up a whole bunch of those. And then just a hello sunshine, like send a note to a friend and say, hey, how's it going? I was thinking of you. Now's a great time to send cards. I know a lot of my friends have been sending out extra cards lately. Here's one that's a great congratulations card that just says way to go, and I love this the scripting on the font there. That's fantastic. And then another just a note. See, there you go, dropping stuff. I knew it was going to happen. Please hold. I'm like the queen of dropping stuff. It's just not a good video if I haven't dropped something. So, at least I'm not like dropping important stuff yet. Give me time. I will drop something important, I'm sure. Alright, so who is ready to start our stamping? I know I am. So, let me separate out my cards and we'll just work our way through the adorableness that is in this box. Okay, so we're going to set that right there for right now. I've got all of my card bases. So we have, I'm worried about those cards there, so I'm going to move them. Alright, so before you get started, you will want to make sure that you have a bone folder if you have one. If you don't, it's fine. There's some other tricks we can do. You'll also want a pair of scissors. And if you are not a huge fan of glue dots, grab some Stampin' Seal. I also have the Walmart knockoff, or not Walmart's, Hobby Lobby kind too. I like to have that around for when I run out of my Stampin' Seal and have forgotten to order it. So I'm going to set those aside because I know I need them. I'm going to open up my ink. So our ink pads are amazing. If you haven't used these before, the ink, like the pad with the ink on it itself, stores upside down. So it's like right here in here. So what you do is there's a little thumb notch and you just flip that open and slide it. So easy, so easy. Alright, so I'm going to set that out of my hand reach because I will put my fist in it, or my fingers. I'm really good at that. I'm not inky yet. Give me time. Hey Mandy! Yeah. Thanks for laughing with me, girls. I appreciate it. So I've got my laptop set up over there so that I can see comments as they come in. I mean, my phone is like just right at eye level. But yeah, just laugh with me. It's, you know, I've discovered that's the only thing that you can do. There's nothing else you can really do. Alright, so for the first card, I'm going to do this cute pinky. It's, you know what? I'm saying pinky. This looks like it's Calypso Coral. Yeah. So we're going to do that card first. So we are going to need this one, and this one, and one of these cute blue ones. And we're going to need all of those. Alright. We're ready to rock and roll. Alright. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my card base. I always do that first. So, what I like to do is I just fold it over and line up my edges. And then I take my bone folder and I start in the middle and I go to one side and then to the other side. And I just rub it again. And that gives me a nice clean crease. If I did it with my fingers, like the paper would just kind of like pop up a little bit and it'd be like, nice try. If you don't have a bone folder, not to worry. You see this groovy block that they gave you? You can also use your block. Nice easy trick. You can, I usually just use the side. You can do it flat. It's completely up to you. Up to you. I am struggling with words. We're good. We'll make it through. Alright. So we're going to just slide that over for a minute and do some stamping. Alright. So for this first bit, like you could just use this tag right as you want to use it. Or you can add a few details to it. So on your stamp set, you've got a thicker piece of plastic and a thin piece of plastic. Just rip off that little one and set it aside so that when you put this away, it doesn't stick to everything, because it will. And then we are going to pull off the leaf image and stick it on our block. This is awesome. These are photopolymer stamps, so you can use it, clean it, pull it off, and put it away. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to ink up this leaf image, and then the leaves on the stamp line up perfectly with the leaves on that card. So we are going to stamp these leaves. Let me move stuff out of the way so that I don't create more issues for myself, because I will. Alright, we're going to just ink up. So when you ink up, you're going to tap, tap, tap on your ink pad. You don't want to smush it down because then you get ink where you don't want ink. It's kind of like you're kissing your grandma, going. And then you are going to take, you're going to hold firmly on your block so you don't drop it like I like to do. And, alright, we're going to scoot a little closer here. I'm going to get nice and cozy with my stamps and not put my head in the video. Alright, so then you're going to line your image up with your leaves, and if it's off a little bit, it's okay. Just pretend like you did it on purpose. And then you're going to squish it down like you're kissing your sweetheart. And poof, you've got your image. Alright, so we're going to do that on all of our leaves, our leaf pictures here. And if you have joined some of my other simple stamping classes before and you're like, you've already told me this, I'm repeating myself for the people who haven't enjoyed my craziness prior to tonight. And believe me, there's plenty of crazy to go around. Alright, so I have stamped my leaves, and then I'm going to just remove this. Remember that it's removable and reusable. I'm going to grab my lemon image and pop that down. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line these up and stamp. Anyway, so I'm just nuts. It's fun. It's the only way to be. Like, I would stress out so much more if I wasn't crazy. But I'm the good kind of crazy, you know, the one that people enjoy and have fun with. Right. So I'm just stamping all of these up. I'm going to turn the block. And I used 2 hands on that one so that I didn't make a mess. Because I would totally do that. You know, I'm like lining these up pretty well. I'm shocked. Alright. Cleaning that off. So I have a simple chamois. This is what it looks like when it's brand new, minus the cute ribbon. This is what it looks like when it's brand new. And it's just a stamp cleaning tool. And once you have loved your chamois a lot, it's scary. So, I leave it out of the video so that I don't scare people. Because I look at it and I'm like, yikes! And then I just remember, it's just stained from all the ink and the Stampin' Love. But I do like to show it. I'm like, look at this! And it's still fine. Yeah, it totally is fine. Alright, so we are going to stamp a sentiment on here, which the sentiments are just sayings. And this one we're going to do, hello sunshine. Alright, so on the words, so that I don't get them all mixed up and crazy, I lay them down and then I put my block to the words. I had water on there. And how did I get water on my block? Because I let my son rehydrate my chamois because it dried out during one of my last classes, and he brought it back and it was like dripping, but it has stayed wet for weeks. I just watch to make sure it's not molding and getting gross. Alright, so we're going to stamp our hello sunshine on our label and call it good. Yay! Okay, put the stamp away. I'm trying to use only what came in the kit, so I'm like putting stuff on and taking stuff off of the block all the time. Alright, so here is what we're going to do next. We're going to need our twine. I'm going to just set that aside. I shook it a little bit because I was afraid that my cute little flowers were stuck inside. Alright, I'm going to unroll that a little bit, and then we are going to wrap this around the card, this like decorative base, and tie a bow. And if I tie this the right way, it will look nice. If I don't tie it the right way, it will be crazy. And my fingers, like, I don't know what my deal is right now. I'm struggling with like gripping things. Alright, so to tie a nice-ish bow, what I would recommend is you tie your twine around and then tie it in a knot. So you've got that. And then you just do your bow normally. This way you're not trying to keep your twine tight while you're trying to get your bow going, because that's just frustrating. Alright, so then we're going to trim this off. If you don't like to measure off of your spool of ribbon or twine, you can pre-cut it and measure it and everything, but I like to make sure that it's right where I want it and I don't have any waste. So I always do it like that. Alright, next up we are going to attach our blue bit, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal and save my dots for another day. So I'm just going to run this along here And there is a trick on your stamp pencil, so you drag it along and then you bend it backwards and break that off so you don't get like these long stringy bits of adhesive. And I totally got it on the paper, which is fine. That's what the paper is there for. So we're going to, I'm going to have this go above the twine a little bit and stick it on. And I want it to line up so that my point is even with the edge of the card. So then my bow can go on here. Then we're going to come and take the dimensionals, and they gave us a ton of dimensionals in this kit, which is fantastic because I love dimensionals. So I usually just stick some in the corners, and if it's a really big piece, I'll stick one in the middle. I'll do that on this one just to show you what I do. And then you pull the backings off, and everybody has different thoughts on their backings, like what to do with them. I heard a really great tip a couple weekends ago. So if you have the silicone mat, you can throw them on there and store them. I just toss them off to the side and clean them up later. Alright, so then I'm going to line this up on my card base. Make sure that it's like the way you want to open it. So we're going to stick that there, push down firmly, and I'm going to add just a couple more dimensionals on here and put my sentiment label popped up a little bit. Hope I'm in the picture or in the video. Ooh, I almost put that on upside down. Yeah, that would be totally me. Alright, so we're going to just pop that up. I want that to show up. Okay. So we'll do just like so. And you have card number 1. That took way too long. Alright, let's see if we can do the next one a little bit swifter. Alright, I'm choosing to do these. Oh, I forgot to add my flowers. Darn it. Okay. So I'm just going to pour some out up on top up here, and we'll just grab and go. Alright, so I'm going to we're just going to do 3 flowers on this one. So this is a great opportunity to use your glue dots. So what I recommend is, if you can, alright, so we're going to pull the whole dot off and just attach it to the back of our flower, and then remove the little backing. So it leaves this little sticky dot. So we're going to stick a flower here. If you are magic and can get the backing off and leave the glue dot on the paper, then by all means take the backing off and then put the flower to the dot. But if you can't, that's perfectly okay. Alright. So we'll get these on. And like lining these up takes a second. Like, maybe I should be wearing my glasses. That might help. That would make sense, and I don't make sense. Alright. So there we go. Alright, now it's all cute with the little flowers. See, I knew I was forgetting something. Alright, so we're going to set that to the side and do our next card. So we'll do this one. So we're going to fold our base and then grab our bone folder, or your block, or your fingers. You know, it's up to you. Whatever makes you happy. Alright, so we need this one. And we need one of those. And one of those. And then we're going to use the twine and the flowers again. This one is going to be just a little bit of stamping. We are going to stamp the Just a Note sentiment. So that is there. And I totally held it upside down. My apologies. Alright. So we've got Just a Note. We're going to stamp that right in the middle. Am I using the right one? I am. Okay. Got that stamped really nice on there. Alright. cleaned off my block just so that I can roll with this. Alright, so then for this one, I am going to use my Stampin' Seal. I was like looking for it, it's right in front of me. And I'm just going to do a quick, oh, I did it wrong. See, I got like stringies. See, go back. Move that over. Okay, so I am going to put this one like kind of centered on the card. I hope you can see that. We'll just push it down. And then I'm going to use dimensionals on this bit. And I'm just going to use 2. I'm not going to go crazy with this one. Sometimes I go super crazy and there's like dimensionals everywhere. Alright, so then we are going to put this one, again, we're going to try to center it on our green strip. And then the cool part is going to happen. Are you ready for it? Okay, I'm going to get a drink real quick. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so what we're going to do, like, hold on to your hat. This is going to be so awesome. Alright, for this card, I am going to measure it. We want about 25 inches of twine. So on my grid sheet, I don't think you can't see the bottom, but there's like a little ruler, so I'm going to quickly measure this out. 16 inches to 9 inches to 25 inches. Alright, in the instructions it says cut this in half, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to just fold this in half. And then I'm going to tie a bow. And I want it to be a double bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make bunny ears and then bunny ears. So I've got my 2 loops. And then I'm going to loop them around together and pull this through and just pull it tight. Now you notice this looks terrible. So that's when you go and you just adjust until it is the size that you want it. And we're going to have a nice floppy bow. And then this way, I can trim the edges. And pardon my buzzing. I am getting a few messages. My husband has my daughter at swim, and I have people contacting me about stamp camp tomorrow, so I will get to them in just a couple of minutes. So I'm actually really excited. I'm hosting my first ever stamp camp tomorrow. And I've got a few friends who are joining me for that. And I will be doing a Christmas only camp in November. So stay tuned for announcements on that. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to grab a glue dot. And I'm going to stick it on the back of the knot on my bow. Squish it good and hard just so that it sticks, so that when I pull my backing off I only get the backing. And then we're going to come and right under this little flap we're going to stick the knot for the bow, and then we've got our cute little double bow with its little ends popping out, and I got all twisty. It's alright. Okay, now we need to do a few of our flowers. We're going to do 5 this time. Alright. So we'll do 3 down here and 2 up here, and it will be gorgeous. If I can get just 1 at a time. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling tonight. For embellishments like this, I do rules of 3. So, odds. The odds. That's what I do. Rules of 3 is something else. I will remember what that something else is later, but right now we're gonna just roll with it. Alright, so I am getting these all together. Sticking that on there. So I'm just sticking my glue dots on and then sticking the flowers down. 2 more flowers and we've got a completed card. So just sticking that down, remove the backing. Then we'll do one right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have our second card. Alright, for the next one. So I just have the stack of card bases over here and I don't know what's coming up next. Alright, so we're going to do this Bermuda Bay polka dot one. So I've got my base folded. Slide that off. And then for this lovely card, we'll have a little bit more stamping. Alright. I want one of those and here, and we get to do a circle. And that's everything. Okay. So for this one, we're gonna stamp a lot. So I'm gonna stamp on here first. Like, if I don't know if you can see it in here, but if you look at the circle, it's got some stitching on it. It's super cute. Alright, so I need the Just a Note again. If I would have paid attention to what card was next, I would have known I didn't need to clean that right away. Alright, so I've inked it up. We're going to stamp, I want that a little bit darker on that other end. And stamp it like right in the middle. Pop that off. We're going to set this aside because we are done stamping on the circle. And then on here, we've got these segments. It looks like grapefruit and oranges. And so I'm going to get my orangey segmenty stamp and we are going to stamp around those. So, let's see how well we can line these up. And we're going down. Hey, that's pretty close. No complaints. Now, the stamping is optional. It just adds a little more detail. I mean, the card is beautiful on its own. This just adds a little bit more definition on the detail. Stamp there. Alright, so we got the orangey segmenty things done. I use all of the technical terms, so bear with me, you know, things and stuff, and no need to overcomplicate it, right? Alright, now we're going to get these leaves, and there's a ton of leaves. So let's stamp kind of fast. So I tend to turn my paper more than I do my stamp, just to make sure that I get it. It's easier to turn the paper for me. Some people can turn their stamps and they're great. I struggle. So after I am done filming the Facebook Live, what I do is I download the video and I post it to my YouTube channel, and then I share it on my blog. That way, my stamping friends who are not on Facebook can enjoy the class. They just are a little bit delayed, which is a bummer, but at least they get it. I'm grateful for the different technology platforms. Oh my, how is that gonna go? Okay, just like that. Well, that was a little off. It's all good. Okay. Okay, this time I'm going to turn my stamp. And I'm all used to having it the other way. Oh my goodness. Okay. I mostly got it. See, some of these are like a little off. It's alright. It's like those pictures that you see sometimes where there's like the outline and then the colors are just a little bit off and you're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's what we're going for here. Or I'm just really bad at lining things up. We'll let you decide. Just don't tell me if it's not nice. I'm just kidding. You can tell me. I can take it. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, I deal with things with weird humor. And on the Facebook Lives, while I love doing them, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we are going to attach this here. Then we're going to wrap some of the twine around the card, and then we're going to attach the rest of it. So, let's do that. Stampin' Seal. So, I did it again. I just pulled away. I'm still trying to adjust to the new technique that's needed for this. Alright. So we're going to center this on the card. I mean, mostly center. I didn't like get out a ruler and measure it. I totally could if I wanted to though. So what I do when I wrap stuff around cards, I just pull my twine out a lot. And then we're going to just fold this around. We're going to wrap it twice. I want it to be mostly centered. And I want just a little bit more twine here. Alright. Perfect. Alright. Here we go. Make sure we're still in the picture. And then we want to tie our bow, so it's like right here-ish. So I'm going to tie my knot there. And my twine is getting a little twisted, so it might get a little bit weird. Alright, so we've got fruit flies in our house. It happens like once a year, and it's always right at the beginning of fall, and it drives us insane. But they have been swarming my desk today. Yesterday they were pestering my husband. Today they are pestering me. So I have this one that keeps flying in my face, and I'm like, oh. So if you see this little black dot like zoom through the camera, it's just one of those pesky flies. We've got apple cider vinegar traps out, and they're kind of working. Not as well as we would like. So, alright, so I have my bow here, and then I'm going to run some adhesive along right here and stick that to the background there. Make sure it's straight. And then I'm just going to lay this here, center it as best as I can. And then we're going to need the dimensionals again. So I'm just going to stick a dimensional here and one here. And for good measure, we'll put one here and here. Ah, it stuck to my finger. Alright. Pull those backings off, and then we're going to lay this as centered as we can on the card. Alright. It's a little crooked, but that's alright. We'll get by. Alright, so now we want to add a couple of flowers. So I'm going to do 3 flowers on this one. I'm going to do 2 and 1. So I like to just kind of switch things up a little bit. I am also following the pattern as much as I can. Have my instructions off to the side. Alright, I totally like moved that off camera. My apologies. Okay, so we'll stick one over here. These are just cute little vellum blossoms. They are adorable. Like, I'm gonna have to say, dear Stampin' Up, like, put these in the catalog so we can purchase them. Like, way, way too cute. And I'm not a big floral person, but I do really like these little flowers. They're just fun. Alright, so there is our third card. The next one is this fun green one. Alright, move that out of the way. We're going to slide that, make sure it's nice and firm. It's going to go this way. So let me scoot that off to the side, and we're going to get the other pieces that we need. So I'm going to dig through my pile of punch outs, and we get to use that cute one, and then we need a blue banner and one of these labels like that, and we'll call it good on that card. Okay, so for this one we are going to stamp the way to go, and then we get to do some stamping on here. So let me remember where I put the stamps. I keep like stacking things on top of other things, and then I can't find what I'm looking for. I hope I'm not the only one that does that. So we're going to stamp the way to go on our label first. Alright, so I'm just going to lay that down and pick up my stamp, and then we'll ink it up. I know my ink is off camera. I only have so much real estate to work with. Maybe someday I need to invest in one of those cameras that like hang from the ceiling above my head, and then you can see like everything. Whoa, that could be scary. Alright, so then we're going to use the leaves again on here. Set this off to the side, and we're going to stamp the outline for the leaves. And then we're going to use the cute little star stamp. So with the different projects, we get to use nearly every single one of the stamps in here. So we are going to stamp these little stars, and I want to make sure I've got this the way they got it in the picture. Alright, we're going to stamp some right here above these leaves, and then we'll do some up here, and then we'll do some down here below the grapefruit. I don't know, this cute citrus fruit. I should learn my citrus fruits. I mean, they're like, I know oranges, and I know grapefruits, and I know lemons and limes. Are there others? That's my homework. Learn about citrus fruit. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one is we are just going to glue this down onto the card base. Again, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. You can use your glue dots, but I want to keep doing that. Alright, there we go. And then I touched the adhesive. Go me. Alright, way to stick to myself. Okay. So we're going to just put that on here. And then I'm going to attach my blue strip behind my words. So I'm just going to do a little bit in the center. So I've got just that bit there. And then we're going to line this up. So we have it. And then I'm going to pop these up with dimensionals. So put one in the center, and then one close to each end. And pull off the backings. And I keep moving my paper. So usually I like tape my paper down to the table, and I didn't do that tonight. I don't know what I was thinking. So we're going to come down and we're going to place this about right here-ish. That looks good. I'm adjusting that, making sure it's mostly straight. And then I'm going to tie a bow with my twine, and we're going to stick it right here in this corner underneath the flap. So just 2 bunny ears. It's like when we did the double bow, the double twine bow, except this time we're just going to do single strand. I don't even remember who taught me how to do the bows like this, but whoever it was, thank you, and I love you. Oh, that's all twisted. We'll try this again. Make sure we're not twisted up. I know a lot of demonstrators get really agitated trying to tie bows on camera, and I drop so much stuff that it doesn't even bother me. Is that sad? That might be sad. Yeah, so I do a weekly Facebook Live every Tuesday on my lunch break, because I do work full-time. So I call it Live at Lunch. Creative, right? Yeah, it might have been my husband that came up with that, or maybe I was the genius. I can't remember. My husband comes up with some awesome themes for me. Alright, so I'm sticking a glue dot on here. I'm going to pull the backing off, I hope. I did! Woohoo! Alright, and then I'm just going to, because it is a little bit bigger than my knot, I'm just going to like tuck that together, and then I'm going to stick it right there. And I'm going to use the point of my scissors this time to help like just push that down. Alright, and that doesn't look good there, so alright, so I've tucked that under, so we've got our 4th card. Alright, one more to go. It's the last. I forgot to do flowers on that one. We'll leave them off, but in the instructions it shows different flowers, like little blossoms. Okay, so we've got this groovy background. Like, isn't that adorable? It's totally Melon Mambo. And then we're using this banner and this hexagon. So we're going to use the one stamp that we have not used yet, and it is the sentiment that says, "Thanks for being you." So I'm going to lay that down and come and pick it up with my block, and then get it all inky. Because inky is a word, right? Alright. Oh, hey Ashley, I just looked to my left and saw my computer. Yes, I am on a Facebook Live. I'll text you back when I'm done. So that is all of the stamping, so I'm just going to leave that. And then we are going to put dimensionals on this card. I'm going to do 4 of them because I want it to really stay popped up. Okay. And then we're going to grab this and we're going to just pop him on to our little banner. And then we're going to take our twine and we are going to wrap it around here and tie a cute little bow. Alright, so remember my trick from before where you wrap it and then you tie a knot? Yeah, it works so beautifully. My friend Brandy Barnard taught me that trick. I was like, oh, what a genius idea. And so I have been doing it ever since. So, because I always struggled. I was like, I've got to tie this bow and it's getting loose. And now I don't have that problem because I just tie my knot and then I can tie my bow. And I don't remember who taught her that trick because she had the same aha moment that I did. And I was like, that's genius. Alright, so we're going to tie that nice and tight. I've got way too much of a tail on here. Alright, tie our loop. Go around. I feel like I'm tying my shoes or teaching my kids how to tie shoes. Alright, so then I'm just going to pull that down. Oh, I got twisty. I hate it when my twine twists. Like, drives me crazy. Alright, so let's try this again. Yikes. Alright, so we're going to make our loop and we're going to go around. And then we're going to fix our bow so it looks cuter. And that's the great thing, you can always retie a bow. I have had times where I've had to tie my bow like 7 or 8 times to get it right. Thankfully I wasn't on video. When it happens like that on video, I just, if it's an opportunity where I can just stop and start over, I do. Alright, so set the twine off to the side. See, this bow didn't turn out too bad. Like, this little bit here is a little funky, but that's okay. Alright, so then we're going to put some more dimensionals on here. So my twine keeps sliding, so I'm going to show you another awesome trick. You can use your dimensional to hold your twine in place. So I'm just going to put that right over the top, and then I'm going to put one right over the top over here, and it's doing double duty. It's holding that twine in place so it doesn't slide all over the world, and it's going to pop up your banner. Alright, pull these backings off. And then we are going to put this one in the top left corner. So we've got that. And now the last thing we need to do is add our cute little blossoms. So let me grab the glue dots again. Pull some of these off. I think we're going to add 3 on this one. So attaching our glue dots. We'll put 1 up here, so it's kind of sticking out underneath that banner. Now, if you don't have longish fingernails, like mine are long enough I can scoop up my glue dots, you can use the edge of your scissors, or you can use a take your pick tool, or if you have one of the old piercing tools, that will also work. So that you're not left sitting there going, how do I get this off? Sometimes, like if my nail breaks or, you know, it happens, then I have to use my take your pick tool or my scissors to help me out. So I'll stick this one down here. Alright, and that is the 5th card. So let me pull all of the cards back on here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I hope you enjoyed today's simple stamping class, and we will catch you again next month. I don't remember what we're doing. I can't remember what hasn't been done yet in the catalog. I think there might only be one thing left. There is. We're going to do the Hooray to You. That one is loads of fun. We'll play with Stampin' Right markers, and that will be everything in this catalog. So then I have to get really creative. So November will be exciting. Holy smokes. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't purchased this kit yet, I highly recommend it. It's only 30 bucks, and you get so much stuff, and you get all of these adorable cards. So you can jump on my website. It's Stephanie's Stampers. I'll put it somewhere. Or you can just search Stephanie's Stampers, or go to StampinUp.com and then select me as your person. However it works for you. But I'll make sure I post my website link with the YouTube video and in the description. I'll edit my description for my live. So anyway, thanks for stamping with me. It's been fun. I love this kit. I've been ready for fall, but having the citrus pop up and these fun colors has totally been just what I needed, and something simple before I get ready to jump into a crazy weekend. Anyway, so I will catch you again later. Bye guys. Thanks for joining.